Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Martinsville, Virginia, the TRS Tour Modified Series. How long has NASCAR been racing at Martinsville Speedway? Since the very beginning on July 4th, 1947, more than 4,000 fans jammed into the one-year-old dirt half-mile racetrack to watch Fonny Flock beat his brother Tim, Buck Baker, and sanctioning body founder Bill France himself in NASCAR's sixth ever race. The racetrack that Clay Earls carved out of the Virginia countryside was shaped like a paperclip and only 137 feet more than half a mile in length, 0.526 miles to be exact. Other than asphalt paving job in 1955 and the addition of more durable concrete lanes in the 12-degree banked corners 21 years later, Martinsville Speedway, the only remaining NASCAR venue from the 1947 season, is the same configuration it was when the gates were first opened. Oh, and then there's the addition of the grandstands to increase the seating capacity from the original total of 750 to the 85,000 it boasts today. Now a NASCAR property, Martinsville Speedway hosts the NASCAR Cup Series, Camping World Truck Series, late model stock cars, and the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. With short, tight, modestly banked corners, the competition is tight and it can get quite physical. After 500 laps around Martinsville, few, if any, of the cars are unmarked, and race winners know they've earned their trophies. Who will win tonight in the TRS Tour Modified Series from Martinsville Speedway? It's next on HBR TV. Once again, everyone, welcome and good evening to Martinsville, Virginia, TRS Tour Modified Series. Just finishing up the practice session. Getting into qualifying here in just a couple of minutes. Dustin Painter, your top time so far. Number 65 machine. Alfie Sharon, second. Conover, third. Marks, fourth. Buckley, fifth. Rest of the top 10, Murphy, Melnick, Higgins, Taschereau, and Butler. Practice session coming to a close here for Martinsville Speedway. Dustin Painter on top of the board. Qualifying just about to get underway. Before we get too deep into things, of course, we have to thank our sponsors. TRS, theracing.school.net, primary sponsor of the TRS Tour Modified Series. And also to LSI, Litchfield Specialty. T. Dixon & Sons Trucking Incorporated. And Sudath Taxidermy, competition quality at a commercial price. Contact award-winning taxidermist James Sudath at 636-544-7836. on the speedway already. It is the number 4 machine of Joe Marks. Joe was, I think, in the top 10 in the practice session. Lap 1 for Marks, a 1955. I think we were cracking 18s, maybe an 1860. In fact, that is the top time right now for Rob Higgins. 1858. One ups it on the second lap. Higgins goes to top of the board, but just as I say that, Dustin Painter, his first lap, second lap, an 18.508. Carson Conway out on the track as well. His first lap, a 21.85. Second lap, a 19.30. Fifth quick so far of those that have taken a time. Pete Woodrum, that number 8 machine. Pete is out here racing tonight. Mind might be somewhere else. Unfortunately, Pete's wife is not doing so great, having some health issues back at home. Unfortunately, in the hospital, trying to recover from her ailments. We wish the Woodrum family well. Prayers certainly for the Woodrum family. Good to see him still here. A lot of people don't understand about these iRacing leagues that all these guys run in. It really is just a big family. We cut up with each other. We're there for each other, and that's just how things go. So Pete's not just playing games. He's here with family. So wish you luck and wish your family good health, Pete. Mike LaJoie's first lap, a 19.161. That puts him 8th so far. Lap 2 is an 18.80 for Mike LaJoie, a little bit quicker, up 1 spot, puts him 7th on the board. Mike Taschereau just wrapping up his attempt, 18.82, good enough for 9th. Alfie Charon is on the track here. This is lap 1 of 2. First lap, third quick for Alfie, an 18.61. Good time. See if he can pick it up here on lap 2 and take over the pole from Dustin Painter. Painter ran an 18.50. Here's Alfie off turn 4, crosses the line. Didn't do it. Outside front row, second quick, 18.544 seconds for Alfie Charon. Presently showing 18 cars registered for the session. 14 so far have taken time. Going to be a good field here tonight at Martinsville Speedway for sure. A couple already watching in the Facebook side. Don Harger, Natalie Bravo watching. Again, guys, feel free to chat with us in the stream. Multicast here to YouTube and Facebook. Got them both up and running. Again, feel free to interact with us. Say hi. Who you cheering for? Who you want to win? What battles am I missing? What drivers am I paying too much attention to? I can handle it. As it sits right now, it's Dustin Painter, Alfie Charon, your front row. Our 4 more cars that could take a time. We've got about 3.5 minutes left in the session. These guys want to get out and take their laps. They can certainly do so. Maybe they're opting to start near the back. Jamie Kerr, one of our OG drivers, commenting on his qualifying. Better qualifying effort this week. Absolutely, Jamie. Puts it almost in the top 5, sitting in the 6th position. Good couple laps for the 75 machine. We're going to step aside for just a minute or two here while the session wraps up. We'll be back with our starting grid after this. Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway. We do have another entry here. Josh Buckley getting ready to take some time here in qualifying. Buckley crosses the line 18.656, a good time. First lap out. Real quick time for the 13. Top 5 starting position so far. He's going to try and go around one more time, improve that lap. Maybe have a chance at pole off turn number 4, crossing the line. Buckley moves it up a couple spots into the 3rd position in 18.57. Great lap time, great qualifying effort out of the 13. That's going to wrap it up. Our starting grid for tonight's TRS Tour Modified Series from Martinsville Speedway. It is Dustin Painter, the number 65 machine on the pole position to his outside. The number 78, Alfie Sharon Jr. with Sharon Racing to his outside. Row number 2, Josh Buckley, we just saw qualify. Number 13 will start in the 3rd spot. To his outside, the 40 of Rob Higgins. Row number 3, it's Joe Marks in the number 4 and Dan Butler in the number 18. Row number 4, Jamie Kerr. Like I said, good qualifying attempt here this afternoon, this evening. The number 75 with Black Acid Custom Racing Apparel and Holler Boys Racing TV, with Dan Murphy Jr. in the 41 to his outside. Mike LaJoy will start 9th. Shane Wagner in the 26 machine will start 10th, with Mike Taschereau starting 11th and Aaron Conover starting 12th. Starting 13th, the number 72 is Carson Conway. 14 is Tom Melnick. Whoops. Wrong button. Pete Woodrum, we talked about earlier. Well wishes for the Woodrum family, of course. Pete's wife is in the hospital trying to recover from an illness. Wish him all the best and thoughts and prayers to him and his family. Brian Torsha will start 16th. In the 17th position, Bob Higgins. 18th will be Ben Choate, and he will round out the field here this evening at Martinsville, Virginia. That is your starting grid for the TRS Tour Modified Series from Martinsville Speedway. Field rolls off. Front stretch here, getting ready to get underway here for Martinsville. I believe 2 pace laps before we get the green flag here this evening. Field forming up nicely 2 by 2. Lights are off atop the iRacing pace car. We'll be underway here momentarily. Pace car is in, waiting on the green flag. Green is in the air. 65 of Painter comes to life, as does the 78 of Alfie Sharon on the outside. Field works into one relatively clean. A little bumping and banging already, but everybody's through cleanly. Still side by side for the top spot into turns 3 and 4. Little wiggle catches the bottom of the curve there. The 65 does, slides up to the 78 a little bit. Painter still going to lead lap 1. Painter gets the run off of turn number 4, gets in front of the 78 of Sharon. Dustin Painter continues to lead 5 laps in here at Martinsville Speedway. Alfie Sharon is second. Josh Buckley, Rob Higgins, Joe Marks, your top 5. Top 2 starting to get some separation back to 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That is Painter and Sharon. 8 laps in, 10% of the way. Doesn't seem like much, but these laps will click off in a hurry if you're not careful, especially if we stay green. Only a half-mile flat paperclip oval here at Martinsville Speedway. These Tour Modifieds actually click off laps faster than the NASCAR Cup Series car will. Lower to the ground, a lot lighter, plenty of power. Riding on board with the 78 of Alfie Sharon. Second position right now, just chasing the 65 of Painter right now. Running in his tire tracks, trying to size him up. Take a look at the line that the 65 is running. Where is there a weakness? Where is there an opportunity? Again, still early on in the race. No need to push the issue right now, but Alfie's sitting back there in second, just watching the leader, trying to learn something that he can take advantage of later on in the run. Further back in the pack, this is Aaron Conover. We were a moment ago at least. Joe Marks now the 5th position, just in behind the 13 of Josh Buckley. It's like the brakes on all 4 corners of these race cars good and hot already. Only 13 laps in, brake rotors cherry red. Definitely getting a workout here at Martinsville Speedway, and these Tour Modified cars, they get up and go, but you got to get them woed down at the end of those little drag strips. Josh Buckley, you see Rob Higgins just in front of the 13. Rob's trying to put some pressure on second place Alfie Sharon. Rob's tucked in nice and close. The rest of the top 5, even top 6, has started to catch the leaders. I don't know if this is a matter of them saving some tire for later on in the run, or if everybody in behind the top 2 are just starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Right on board with Josh Buckley in the 13 out of Peppermill, Massachusetts, with Checkered Flag Auto Supply. And even from this view, you can see how hot those front brakes are getting. Just the tip of the top of the left front brake rotor, especially when the car's under load in the corner. You see the suspension push a little bit there. A little cherry red at the bottom left of your screen, middle left of your screen. Top 5 relatively unchanged so far. 19 laps go up on the board here at Martinsville Speedway. Painter, Sharon, Higgins, Buckley, and Marks, your top 5. Jamie Kerr up a spot in the 6th position. Jamie doing a little bit of a battle here with the 18 of Dan Butler, has actually gone by the 18 machine. Further back in the pack, Mike Taschereau, the number 33 TRS, the racing school machine. All by his lonesome right now, just running some laps, getting that car into a groove. A little bit of an issue up ahead, though. The 75 of Jamie Kerr and Dan Butler come together. Kerr loses the spot to Taschereau, also to Butler. Butler moves up to the 6th position, but Mike Taschereau now in the mix here. Mike's going to try and take advantage of that little mix-up. This is the battle for the 6th position. Looks like Taschereau is going to go right on by. Butler may have let it happen, but in doing so, Jamie Kerr gets to the back bumper of the 18, has to lock up the brakes to avoid contact. He does avoid hitting the 18 machine, but it cost him in the meantime. Not sure if Butler's having some trouble with tires already this early in the run. 24 laps in. Back up front, battle for the lead still underway. Painter has it. Alfie wants to take it away. Still right to the back bumper of the number 65. They work into turn number 3. Alfie's right there. Has changed up his line a bit. Maybe a little contact off of 4. Just a nudge, if anything. Lap traffic going to start to come into play here momentarily. Looking back to the 78 of Alfie Sharon as these two continue to battle. Dustin's looked pretty strong since the outset, the green flag drop. Alfie's been right there in contention the entire time, right to the back bumper of Dustin Painter as they work through the corner. Looks like the 78 is a bit quicker, especially through turns 3 and 4. Really gained some ground on entry into those corners. Looks about even through 1 and 2. Battle continues out front. Looks like the rest of the top 5 losing a bit of ground to the leaders. Kind of interesting how that is the case with the top 2. Painter defending and Alfie trying to take over the top spot. Meanwhile, 3rd, 4th, and 5th still not able to keep up. Looks like Pete Woodrum in the wall off of turn 4. Just kind of rides it to stay out of the way. A smart move by the pilot of that number 8 machine. Just keep it up high, let the cars get by down low and not cause a wreck. Did a great job keeping that number 8 machine out of the way. And Butler now sitting in the 8th position. Jamie Kerr and Mike Taschereau both have gotten back by the 18. Melnick's going to hit the pit lane here, lap 34 of 80. Not sure what the pit window is, if this is a scheduled stop, if this is a fuel strategy for the 00. Of course, Tom can't put any numbers on the side of that modified.
Caution somewhere. Caution.
And we do have a caution while Melnick is on the pit lane. This may actually work out for him. Shane Wagner involved, it looks like. Melnick's going to take tires, at least right signs. Let's watch this, and we'll go take a look at the incident with Shane Wagner. Dustin Painter still leads. All right, so 4 tires and possibly topping off the tank for Tom Melnick. Let's take a look what brought out our first yellow flag of the evening. Wagner trying to dime in the corner and gets contact with the 2. Ryan Torsha making contact with Shane Wagner, and around the 26 goes, brings out our caution. 39 laps down here at Martinsville Speedway, the TRS Tour Modified Series. We are under caution for the first time with an incident with Shane Wagner. Once again, let's go back, see what happened with the 26. Looks like Shane was just a little bit too high out of the groove, tried to cut it back down to the bottom at the 2 of Brian Torsha already there. Contact made. Around goes the 26. Looks like Tom's in the YouTube chat here saying I was slow, I got out of the way, and fresh tires to be at pace speed. Fair enough. Saying he black flagged himself. Pace car lights are off. Lap 40 on the board. We are halfway here from Martinsville Speedway. Like I said, it clicks off in a hurry. Pace car's down. Green flag is out. Dustin Painter in the throttle right away. Restart into turn number 1. Looks like we've got a caution off of 4 before that particular vehicle can make it to the green flag. Looks like it might have been Shane Wagner again. Tough to say. Yes, it was. Let's go take a look at that one. Tough break on the restart. Shane Wagner bringing out our second caution of the evening. Our instant replay here coming to green. Wagner back up in the loose stuff again. Gets in the throttle, gets in the marbles. Around he goes. Carson Conway collects the 26. Curious if there's some damage on the 72 machine of Conway. Very well could be. It was a pretty significant impact for the 72. Limping it to the pit lane. Not sure if he's going to be far enough left for those guys to work on that car. Oh, they are. Getting the job done. Just as long as you got 3 out of 4 in the box, you're good to go. See already a lot of tire buildup outside the groove in the corners here at Martinsville Speedway. That's what Shane Wagner got in the restart. Got back to the throttle while he was in it, and around it went. And while we are under caution, we got to thank the sponsor of the series, TRS, theracing-school.net. It is the TRS Modified Series. And also to LSI, Litchfield Specialty. D. Dixon & Sons Trucking Incorporated, and Studath Taxidermy, competition quality at a commercial price. Contact award-winning taxidermist James Studath at 636-544-7836. Just some further commentary here on TRS, theracing-school.net. If you guys have any interest in getting into a real race car, I urge you to hit up their website, theracing-school.net. They've got multiple packages to choose from that sets you up in a, I think it's a late model. You can do some laps in there, and if you do well in the late model, then you can jump in one of these modifieds, and there's multiple lap options that you can go with. And telling you, if you want to sit behind the wheel of a real race car and turn some hot laps, Thompson Speedway, TRS, theracing-school.net. Just check them out and see what works for you. Pace car is down. Dustin Painter back in the gas.
Green flag.
Alfie was ready for it this time, didn't lose much on the restart. Into one they go. Single file restart this time. Consecutive cautions will do that. Gets things cleaned up a little bit. Stretches out the field slightly. Alfie Sharon, though, right on the attack here. Lap 48 of 80. Dustin Painter still has the lead. Alfie's right there in that number 78 machine. Hard to peel away from this battle right now. Alfie could take the top spot away at any moment. He's right there. It's less than a car length into 3 and 4. Field strung out pretty significantly already. Top spot to last. It's about a half lap difference from the first to worst. They work off 4, putting lap 51 on the board. 29 to go. Rather impressed at these guys so far. The TRS Tour Modified Series able to run relatively clean throughout the evening. Only 2 cautions just past a halfway point. Let's go through the field while we have an opportunity. Dustin Painter started on the pole position. The number 69 machine has been there up front since the outset of the green flag. But in hot pursuit is the 78 of Alfie Sharon out of Putnam, Connecticut. The number 78 going for the lead on the outside. Does he have position? Not quite. Might have the momentum if he can stick a nose to the outside. No, Alfie's in the wall off turn number 2. Joe Marks is going to sneak on by. While we're looking at the spotlight here, have to see whether or not he damaged that number 78 machine in the right front. Got a little impatient, thought he had the run, puts it in the fence, but he's going to take back that second spot here from the 4. Alfie Sharon probably not happy about that one. He's going to have to fight back to get to the back bumper of Dustin Painter. Meanwhile, Joe Marks will look at him, the number 4 machine. He's up 2 spots since the green flag, running in the 3rd position. Rob Higgins in the 4th spot, right where he qualified, out of Higgins Hill Racing, running in the 4th position. Josh Buckley, a quick time in qualifying, started 3rd, runs 5th. Mike Taschereau up 5 positions in the 6th spot, the number 33 TRS machine. Brian Torsha, the number 2, our recently crowned truck champion, runs in the 7th position. He's up 9 spots from qualifying. Aaron Conover in the 8th spot. He's picked up 4 positions. He runs again 8th. Mike LaJoy, the number 29, he runs in the 9th position. Dan Murphy Jr., the number 41, out of Peppermill, Mass. He runs last car in the top 10. Dan Butler, the number 18 machine, out of Southbridge, Mass, running in the 11th spot. Down a few since the beginning of the race. Started, I believe, 6th. Jamie Kerr runs in the 12th position. Jamie's down a few spots as well. Lost 5 since the beginning of the race. Runs in the 12th position. Bob Higgins, the number 43, checkered flag auto supply machine, running, well, he was in the 13th spot. Now it looks like he's going to take over the 12th spot. And Pete Woodrum runs in the 14th position. Pete in that number 8 machine out of Itman, West Virginia. Again, we talked about Pete early on. His wife trying to recuperate from some illness in the hospital. Was certainly wishing them the best. Shane Wagner in the 15th position, the number 26 machine. Kind of the product of 2 caution flags here this afternoon. Unfortunately for Shane, usually runs pretty well in these modified cars. Not having a good evening here at Martinsville, runs in the 15th spot. Running 16th is Tom Melnick, 00 machine. Carson Conway sits in the 17th spot. He is off the track after that incident with 26 on the restart. Back up front, Dustin Painter enjoying a pretty significant lead. Well, I say significant. It is for the lead that he has right now. It's a full second back to the 78 of Alfie Sharon. Alfie was right to that back bumper for the majority of the first portions of this race up until recently. With about lap 55, Alfie had an opportunity to take the top spot away from Dustin Painter. Pushed a little too hard off the corner, put the right front in the safer barrier, and managed to keep that car up in the second position. In fact, repassed Joe Marks for that position. Unable to track down Dustin Painter, though he is gaining some ground, a couple of tenths of a second the last couple of laps. Real curious to see if there is any damage on that number 78.
Clear. I don't know why you can't hear Earl. Can you hear me?
Caution is out once again. We've got 15 laps to go as they cross the line. Looks like maybe Tom Melnick, Mike LaJoy involved. Mike LaJoy. Take a look at here, the 29 of LaJoy. This is, looks like the exit of turn 4. Maybe back to the throttle a tick too soon. No, it was okay there. Oh, just gets into the fence, rides the wall across the start-finish line. That's interesting. Take a look at it again from our tower camera in turn 1. Just gets it up the track. Don't know what happened there. Maybe checking the black box or sending a text. Who knows? Either way, the 29 of LaJoy in trouble on the front stretch here late. Martinsville Speedway. Eddie Rose commenting on Pete Woodrum, a West Virginia man. Like hearing that. Eddie Rose himself is a West Virginia man himself. Cody Harger not in the event tonight. He's in the stream chat though. DP for Dustin Painter checking out, but this caution might even things back up. Alfie was catching the 65 there right before that caution came out. We'll have to see what kind of car the 78's going to have here in the closing laps. 13 coming to 12 to go. Lights are still on the pace car. Could get a restart as soon as 11 laps left. So there it is. Lights are off atop the iRacing pace car. The field 2x2 down the backstretch here under caution, getting ready to go back to green to settle it here from Martinsville Speedway. Could be an 11-lap shootout, or you never know, it could be another 20 laps depending on how many greenway checkers we end up with. But either way, Dustin Painter in the throttle as soon as he is eligible to do so. He is away. Dustin Painter trying to put as much distance as he can, and a caution is out. Rob Higgins having some troubles on the restart. The number 40 machine. Looks like maybe Jamie Kerr, Mike LaJoy also involved. Let's get a look at it here, see what happened. Again, Higgins is the 40, mid-pack here, inside lane. Sorry, the 40. Yeah, there it is. Coming to green, trouble, and then you got big trouble up here. Just past the start-finish line, you've got the 75 of Jamie Kerr, the 43 of Bob Higgins. Rob, Bob, Jamie, and Mike. Sounds like a TV show. Let's look at this one again here. Let's see if we can catch it on the Jamie Kerr side of things. The 75 low lane coming to green. Trouble ahead. The 40 crossed up. Woodrum slides into the Butler. Jamie crosses in front of LaJoy. 43 just comes to rest here right in front of everybody. Really doesn't get involved. Just has to Slam on the brakes to avoid contact. Well, like I said, cautions breed cautions. We've said that so many times, not just in the modified series, but just about anywhere I've run a broadcast. You get cautions late in an event, field gets bunched up, it's go time for everybody involved, the aggression level goes to 10. Sometimes we get a bunch of cautions. Less than 8 laps to go for Martinsville Speedway. Dustin Painter has been the man to beat all evening long. Alfie Sharon looks to be the one that could do it. Just has to get there and get an opportunity, take advantage of it. He certainly seems to be quicker. Interestingly enough, our top 3, the best laps for all 3 of them are within half a tenth of a second of each other. Painter does have the top time. That clean air makes a big difference. 18.40 seconds to Alfie's 18.46. But Joe Marks has got an 18.42 to his credit, so he's second quick overall for the evening. As it stands now, lights are still on. iRacing pace car. We've got 7 to go, coming to 6 to go, which means we'll likely get the green with 5 left. Settle it here from Martinsville Speedway. He's got to come up with a game plan and get around the 65 of Painter. Pace car is in. Dustin Painter in the throttle. We're back underway here from Martinsville Speedway. Now we've got 5 laps to go. Painter, Sharon, Marks, Buckley, Taschereau, your top 5 with 5 to go. And work off turn 2 down the back straightaway. Alfie taking a wider line off of 4, trying to use some momentum to his advantage into turns 1 and 2. He's right there, right to that Nerf bar on the back of the number 65 machine. They work down the back straightaway. Alfie taking a look into turn number 3, nothing there. Just trying to get into the mirror of Dustin Painter. They work off 4, crossing the line. 2 laps to go for Dustin Painter. Will it be enough to get to the back bumper once again for Alfie Sharon? It's a car length to 2, back to the 78. Painter takes the white flag here for Martinsville Speedway one more time around, and it'll be, well, the clinic that he has put on all afternoon down the backstretch for the final time for Dustin Painter. He's led since the drop of the green flag. Haven't seen him in the pits all evening long, but off turn number 4, takes the checkered flag. Dustin Painter, your winner here at Martinsville Speedway. Alfie Sharon is second. Joe Marks was third. Joe Buckley fourth. Mike Taschereau, your top 5. Dominating performance by Dustin Painter here this evening. Not the easiest cars to get doing donuts, but it's making it work for now either way. Leaving his mark on the front stretch. Dustin Painter, your race winner here from Martinsville Speedway. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back with our top 3 after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Martinsville Speedway, the TRS Tour Modified Series. It's in the books here. Dustin Painter has put on a clinic here this evening, taking the pole, leading every lap, and winning the race. Let's go down and see if we can get a word with our winner, Dustin Painter. Dustin, it's Steve in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Got you loud and clear, Steve.
Well, Dustin, that was a shellacking, I got to say. A dominant performance here this evening from Martinsville Speedway. You took the pole. I think you led every single lap and en route to victory. Tell us about your evening.
Well, first, I think Alfie probably had a faster car, but he ran me clean. He could catch me there at the end. I was actually probably driving way too hard, but just trying to get out there, stretch the lead as much as possible. But overall good race. This is kind of my home track. I live 30 minutes south of Martinsville, so nice to win here.
Very good, very good. Speaking of who was the fastest and who wasn't, your best lap in 18:36 and Alfie's in 18:39. Both of those were in the last 10 laps of the race. So quick times out of both of you, evenly matched you in the 78. You didn't pit, didn't take tires or fuel. We saw some guys pitting at certain points during the race. Did you have any doubt you were able to stay out there the whole time and not pit?
If this was a 150 lap race, maybe because of fuel, but since we didn't need fuel, this is track position. 100% you stay out.
Well, worked out for you, Dustin. Congratulations on the victory here at Martinsville. You looked stout out there for sure. Well earned, my friend. Before we let you go, anybody you need to thank?
Of course, always Danny Bone sponsors and Danny Bone Racing, the racing school. But also, we've got a guy who was able to race with us tonight, Pete Woodrum. His wife's going through some medical stuff, so just shout out to praying for his wife that she has a speedy recovery and everything. Just we're thinking of her more. We're a family first, and so got to think of that before we race.
Definitely thoughts and prayers out to the Woodrum family. Certainly top concern number one, but really cool that Pete was able to get out here. And as I said early in the broadcast, you guys in the OG League, like many other leagues, it's just a big racing family. It's extended family, and we're all here for each other, and that's what it's all about.
Yep. Thank you for broadcasting, bud.
All right, Dustin, that's our winner here from Martinsville Speedway. Dustin Painter, you just heard from him. Next, we'll go to Alfie Sharon, our second place runner-up. Alfie, it's Steve in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got you, buddy. What's up?
Good run here tonight. Again, a second place for the number 78. You looked stout out there all night long. Didn't really get too far off the back bumper of the number 65. Was there anything you could have done with Dustin here?
Besides wreck him, probably not. Every time I got the run, he would go to that bottom line, which that's what you're supposed to do at Martinsville. You got to protect that bottom. I mean, he did that phenomenally tonight. It was awesome.
We did see at one point, I think just after halfway, you had a run, maybe had an opportunity to maybe make a pass on the outside, and you got the right front cut up in the safer barrier. Did we just overdrive the corner, or was there another issue?
Oh, I touched those marbles, and it just went straight to the wall. It won't even turn.
Tough break again for Alfie Sharon. You still looked good. A second place finish runner-up here at Martinsville Speedway. Alfie, before we let you get out of here, is there anybody you need to thank?
Just TRS, you for broadcasting, and pretty much what Dustin said with Pete Woodrum. It was good that he was able to race, but just got to keep thinking about him. And like you said earlier, we are a big family here, and we're here for everybody. But I can tell you one thing: I'm getting tired of finishing second.
Alfie, you got the skills, brother. You can get up there and take home a checkered flag or three. Come on, you got to get it done.
I'm trying. We only got a couple races left in the season, so I mean, it's go time. I'm trying.
I'm telling you, it's certainly fun to watch you get out there and go after it. You've got the ability, so make it happen, my friend.
Thank you.
Alfie Sharon, your second place finisher here from Martinsville Speedway. It looks like Joe Marks. I'm not sure if we're going to get him or not. Is he still here? I don't see Joe Marks, so it looks like our third place finisher has fled the scene, unfortunately. The number 4 machine of Joe Marks finishes in the third spot, qualified fifth. A good run for the number 4. We talked to Alfie Sharon, the second place machine here, the number 78 with the Racing School TRS, theracingschool.net. Again, we spoke about that early on in the broadcast as well. If you have any interest, I know it's cold, it's snowy, it's crappy out, but springtime's coming. Don't worry, it'll be here before you know it. Get out to Thompson Speedway. Get on to theracingschool.net. Find the package that works for you as far as how much you want to spend, what kind of cars you want to drive, how many laps you want to take. You know, you can go out there and prove yourself. And if you're safe, quick, and you can run the race car in a good manner, they'll let you jump into a modified. It's something that is definitely on my bucket list for sure. I've never driven a real race car short of from the trailer to a display, but it's on the bucket list. And if it's on yours, give these guys a call. If you're even within 8 hours of Thompson Speedway, it's definitely worth the drive. Our finishing results here, race results for the TRS Tour Modified Series from Martinsville Speedway. Dustin Painter, of course, led flag to flag. He is your winner. Alfie Sharon, the second position, the number 78 machine. Joe Marks finishes third. Josh Buckley late into qualifying, laid down a pretty quick lap. I think he started in the third position. Josh Buckley ends up finishing in the fourth spot, but still a solid top 5 for the 13. Mike Taschereau in the number 33. Top 5 for Mike. Finishes 5th. Started 11th. Good evening as well for the 33. Mike always seems to start deep in the field, but always works his way to the front. Finishing in the 6th position was Dan Murphy Jr., the 41. Brian Torsha in the 7th spot, number 2. Pete Woodrum, we spoke about, managed to get here and still run. Worried about the family, of course, but here with his extended family, still brings home a top 10 finish for the number 8. A great run for Pete Woodrum. Shane Wagner, after some issues here this evening, a couple of cautions brought out by the 26, still brings home a top 10 in the 9th spot. Mike LaJoy was 10th in the number 29. Bob Higgins in the 43 was 11th. Jamie Kerr with Black Acid Custom Racing Apparel and Holly Boys Racing TV, the number 75, finishes 12th. Dan Butler finishes 13th in the number 18. Tom Melnick brings home a 14th place finish with TRS Motorsports. Aaron Conover finishes 15th. Rob Higgins with Higgins Hill Racing is 16th. Carson Conway, Holler Boys Racing, finishes 17th, 38 laps down. And Ben Choate did not take the green here this evening for the TRS Tour Modified Series from Martinsville Speedway. That is your finishing order here from the Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia. Thank you guys all for watching. If you haven't already done so, facebook.com/HollerBoysRacingTV. Like, follow, subscribe, share our videos, share our live streams. Get more eyeballs in front of this OG Racing League. They're going to do some recruiting here coming up for their truck series. Their new season is upcoming. I believe there was some talk about a recruitment race tomorrow evening, so be on the lookout for that. If you have any questions, you can contact any of these guys in this league, and I'm sure they will direct you to the right people. I believe Dustin Painter may be a good person to reach out to as well, as far as that is concerned. Speaking of likes, shares, follows, and subscribes, again, we're also on YouTube. We primarily go to the Facebook side, but we dual stream over to the YouTube channel as well, so please give us a follow there at Holler Boys Racing TV. Last but not least, TRS, theracingschool.net. We've talked about them a bunch here tonight. I'm not kidding. Make the effort. Go to the website. Check it out. Their primary sponsor here for this league, but it sounds like something that if you're even a remote race fan, you got to get out and do. So, theracingschool.net. Thank you as well to Litchfield Specialty, LSI. D. Dixon & Sons Trucking Incorporated. And Sudath Taxidermy, competition quality at a commercial price. Contact award-winning taxidermist James Sudath at 636-544-7836. Lastly, thank you again for tuning in, joining us here at Holler Boys Racing TV for the TRS Tour Modified Series from Martinsville Speedway. Tune in Saturday for the ARCA Series, the LSI ARCA Series at 7:45 Eastern Time here on Holler Boys Racing TV. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great night.